What is up, podcast peeps? My name's Patrick. You're listening to the 228 podcast. Man, I hope you guys are surviving the polar vortex. Because I'm going to tell you what, it is cold as shit down here in Mississippi. I know that I follow some detailing friends out in Alabama, and they're detailing their ass off out this in this cold weather. God love you. Y'all keep doing it. I can't wait to start really getting down and dirty with this stuff. But y'all stay warm. And all my folks up north, if you're listening to this, please stay warm. If you don't have to go outside, don't go outside. Because I'm going to tell you what, I hadn't seen this cold in quite some time. Man, it's kind of scary. But y'all stay warm. Please. Jesus. Man, feels like I haven't been on here forever. I was going to do a podcast about 2 days ago, but unfortunately, my phone died. And if you guys ever play YouTube videos on your phone, make sure you exit out of damn YouTube. Because I'm going to tell you what, that damn Apple sucked battery life from your phone. And my phone's already about 2 versions behind, so you can just about imagine what the battery life is doing right now. It gets kind of crappy sometimes. So, I mean, I was standing up at work and I could feel my phone getting hot, and I pull it out and I got a YouTube video playing. So, that about drained my battery. And, well, you just don't get a podcast if I don't have a phone. So, turn the damn YouTube off. Turn it off. But it gave me some time to think about tonight, and or think about the next topic that I wanted to kind of talk to you about, and that is emotional intelligence. And I'll tell you what happened to me after I kind of describe emotional intelligence, if you don't know what that is. So, emotional intelligence is the ability, to take in information and respond with information, or act with the information, and not have your feelings tied up in it, or you take in information and you act on it with the experience that you have to produce a certain outcome. This is something I really struggled with because, one, I'm so passionate about things, and a lot of times I think with my heart and not with my head, and take in that information and use that information as exactly what it is, information. There's no emotion tied to it. There's no feelings tied to it. I've always had that really hard time struggling, with that, because I would take it. I am an emotional guy. Like I said, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I wouldn't say take things personally, because I feel that's what's wrong with this, with our current climate. Everybody gets offended easily, or takes things to heart. But if you take the feelings out of it, if you take the emotions away from that, and you just process the information and deal with it without any feelings or emotions or any feelings of that nature, you come out, I wouldn't say you make a better decision when your feelings are not in play. Now, as a man, having feelings or showing emotion is not a very manly thing. It may be in today's world, but for me, I don't show, I very, very few times show emotion, but I'm very passionate about a lot of things. So it's kind of like I don't know if you're familiar with football, and if you aren't, well, I'm sorry. The time when Odell Beckham was going at batshit crazy and hitting the kicker's net or doing whatever other antics because he wasn't getting the ball, because he was so passionate. He's so passionate about the game, and the emotions run high that, you know, that's the kind of reaction you get. So I've really struggled with this at times, but I'm getting better at it. And I'll tell you the how I know that's working. So as I'm going through and building 228.com and I'm looking at other detailers' websites, I'm noticing how a lot of detailers, if you're a detailer that hasn't updated their website in quite a while, well, look, man, your website looks like ass. All right, your website looks like Y2K. Hasn't been touched, hasn't been updated, maybe except for the pricing or the products or how you run your stuff. But to be honest with you, your website is like your calling card in the digital age. With the decline of organic reach in Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, all these social media platforms, your website is the absolute platform to broadcast your message, your services, your product. You know, this is where all the fancy click funnels, which is bullshit, start from. You know, all these emailing lists and putting out content and bombarding inboxes or whatnot. But if somebody said, hey, I want to get my car detailed, who can I go to? You go to Google, you put in car detailers, and a list pops up, you know, and they go to your website and they click, and you've got a website that looks like your nephew did it back in 2001. You know, what is that saying for your business? And what is that saying for the things that you do? You know, you care about having the big fancy, you know, newest DA polisher, machine polish, the best products out there, but your website looks like total BS, you know. So had I not had the emotional intelligence as I'm building my website and noticed that there are some other issues with other people's websites, I wouldn't have said, hey, you know, I even put this Instagram post up. If you haven't updated your website, maybe we can help. And I'm serious about that. You know, if your website is not updated, it doesn't have great images of your products and you know, of the work that you've done and kind of like your portfolio or your calling card, then I mean, what are you doing? You know, you're missing a huge opportunity to be online and have your online presence very strong. So, but I'll go back to the emotional intelligence. Like I said, had I not noticed what these detailers are doing, and been like, you know, that guy's website looks like crap, I wouldn't have been able to say, hey, maybe I can start helping other detailers out with their website. You know, processing information and taking action with your experience without any feelings connected to it. So, like I said, this has been a real work in progress for me, because I am passionate about things, and I wouldn't say I have strong feelings about things. That's pretty accurate description of things. But to take in information, analyze it, and output information is a sign of high emotional intelligence. Now, you may be wondering how to be better prepared when this happens to you, or how do you gain emotional intelligence? First off, when you take in some information, you have to sit there and actually process that information. So let's say X event happened, I get that information, I process it in my head, and I want to output a result from the experience that I've had in my past, which is probably the only time you should be going in your past anyway, and outputting efficient, effective results. Like my observation of other people's websites. If other people's websites are not up to snuff, well, you know what? Maybe I can help that person out. Or maybe I can connect with someone and help them update their website. Maybe, we could work together on something to improve each other's business. Try to make it a win-win for both of us. So that's kind of where I was headed with this, because, man, noticing these websites was terrible. But had I not been working on my emotional intelligence, I wouldn't have recognized an opportunity. Oh, and that's another thing. I'm glad I said that. So whenever you have high emotional intelligence, you start to recognize patterns in things. So let's say you're, I don't know, we're detailing, so, and you notice something in the industry is not right. Maybe somebody's product line doesn't quite do what you want it to do, and you recognize that time in and time out. Or there's a better way to do things, a more efficient way to do things, time in and time out. That could probably either A, save you a ton of money in your business, or B, make you a ton of money in your business. But if you don't have the emotional intelligence to recognize those opportunities and not take things so personal, or be passionate about something so much that you're blind to opportunities, then that's something you have to work on as a skill. And you can get better at it, because I know I'm getting better at it. I'm able to process things a little bit more better by taking the emotions out of it, or taking the feelings out of it, or taking the passion out of things. And it doesn't leave you robotic, but it does help you see things for what they are, not what they could be, or what they would be later on in the future, or what they were in the past. It just helps you recognize that there's a deficiency, and there could be a possibility to save or make a lot of money. Case in point, the websites that I was looking at, and some of the people that I follow, they're not too bad. They're like on the edge. They probably need a refresh. But, that could be another service that I offer, because with 228.com, and if you haven't gone to it yet, I go to it. If you look at that, that's an updated website with great pictures, a great opening video. What detailer is not going to like seeing foam all over a goddamn car? That's slick. The imagery and the pictures, they make high definition pictures that you can download easily. And those pictures could be your portfolio. They could be stuff you worked on. Excuse me, it feels like I'm coming down with a cold right now. But that could be something you work on, something you show off, your show and shines. But if you don't have the right website and you're still stuck in the past, then you need to, pick it up, step up your game, bring that online presence. And if you need help with that, I can try to help you out with that. That's not a problem. But how do you develop? That's the other thing. There's another point I wanted to make. Emotional intelligence. How do you build that up? How do you work on that? So what you do is, if you have feelings about something, or if you're passionate, you have to take your feelings and tuck them away somewhere. They're a part of you. Accept them. But you have to, I wouldn't say, it's kind of like putting them in a box and stowing it away. That way, whenever something does come up, or some information you have processed in your head, you're not being passionate or having strong feelings for that thing. So you take in the information, you process it, and you spit out information, or you spit out results to whatever you're doing. Just taking the emotions out of things. I mean, not emotions, but feelings. Excuse me. It's a whole nother playing field. When you start stepping away from your feelings and your passions and start looking at things or information, or what people are telling you in an objective manner, things get more, ideas come fluidly, things come faster at you. You recognize potential opportunities much quicker. You're not blinded by preconceived thoughts or notions, or things that have risen up in the past. You're more clear-minded. It's just a better way to process issues or information. It's just a better way to do that. I don't know, another way to put it, but if your passions and your feelings get in the way a lot, try putting them on a back burner and looking at the results from an objective standpoint. Kind of like a third person. Let's say you are a copy of yourself and you're looking at what yourself is going through, and you take notes. That's pretty much what emotional intelligence is. Looking at yourself objectively as you work through your experiences and being able to process them freely, without feelings, without emotions or passions or whatever, and you just work it out. Hey, that's emotional intelligence at its high point. So work on the emotional intelligence. Don't let small stuff work on your nerves, or bother you at all. Sorry, work on your nerves. That might be a southern slang. I don't know. Because in 5 years from now, what you're hung up on probably will not be that important, and you can move on with it. So anyway, thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you guys. Love you. Talk to you later. Bye.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.